Hey guys, have you been diagnosed with appendix cancer or PMP and you're now wondering what the heck to do now? Here's what I recommend. I am a survivor. Well, I'm living with appendix cancer. I was diagnosed in 2019 and I'm actively involved in the community worldwide. And here are things that I've learned through my own experience and through others to help kind of guide you forward. And I can't possibly cover everything there is out there, but here are just some things I put together. So one is get your grief on. When I was diagnosed, it was totally unexpected. I was 37 and I needed a couple of months to process that. And I cried so much. I'm not a crier. I cried a lot. It's something that happens to many of us. It's grieving for yourself and your own life and what you thought it was going to be, and it may still be that. You just have a different path to go on to get there and some challenges. But it's important to process the fears and the what ifs and the darkness and feel it and process it and get it out of you. However that means, if that means crying, if that means journaling or writing poetry or something to process it, it's really important to do that mentally because it'll hit you later if you don't. So process your grief. If you can line up a counselor and you think you need one, do that. Just know that that grief may hit you really hard, and it's something that I think only other patients understand. But that's okay and that's normal. Know that you are not alone. So I recommend finding support, like a support group or support groups and networks. Like I'm a volunteer for PMP Pals and PMP Pals Network. If you want to reach out to me, I can help mentor you or find somebody that may be better for you. There are all different ways to communicate. So, it really varies on if you just want to talk to me, that's cool. I'm Jamie at pmpals.net. But again, if you are, say, a man looking to speak with a man, I can help line you up. And just note that this video is not representative of PMP Pals Network. I am a volunteer there. Everything that us volunteers do is genuine and natural. It's just who we are. They don't own me, but I say things that may not reflect perfectly through the network. So when I do these videos, they're direct from me. I just wanted to say that. So after you find support, because that's really important, you'll need to find a specialist. So I recommend holding off any surgeries. The fewer surgeries, the better, especially in the abdomen. At this point, you found me, you have PMP or appendix cancer. So any unnecessary surgeries are not good. Find a specialist, get as many opinions as you need. I recommend at least 3 opinions from specialists to make sure that they line up with the treatment plan going forward that's been advised to you. A lot of the specialists have virtual consults because you may find that they may not be in your area and you might need to travel. So a lot of them can do virtual consults, and you may need to travel if you need surgery, and believe me, it's worth it. I can teach you about that as I go through more videos. I recommend that you hold off on any surgeries until you've consulted with the specialists. How to make sure you have a specialist, because the issue is that insurance networks, they try to create these specialist teams to save money when really their teams don't have enough experience. And unfortunately, in the network I was in when I was first diagnosed, for example, I educated myself first and I learned what a true specialist was, but I did have to go have a consult with the in-network specialist, and the results were scary. A lot of the patients didn't survive. They ended up shutting down the program, and they had to bring in a whole new team. So it's really important to find a specialist. Honestly, we're all kind of guinea pigs because it's such a rare disease. There's not enough research that goes into it, and we're just not seen enough. So the surgeons and the teams are learning right along with us. And if you add in an even more inexperienced team, it's just not as good as going to a more experienced team. I'll just put that nicely. So how to make sure you have a specialist. For us, a specialist is a surgical oncologist appendix cancer specialist. These are oncology surgeons that see PMP patients on a regular basis, not once a year, not a few times a year, a regular basis. You can research their name on Google and you should come across their portfolio page. And if they don't have appendix cancer listed, I wouldn't trust. If they're a general surgeon or a gyn-onc and they don't have appendix cancer on there, they're not a specialist. Even if you don't need surgery at this time, since I'm talking about surgeons, these specialists have the most experience with us because they have seen with their own eyes how it behaves and what to look for on imaging, because unfortunately imaging isn't very reliable for this disease, and the doctors, these specialists have seen it with their own eyes, and nothing compares to the specialist's eyes. So they know what to look for, and they're usually on top of clinical trials and treatments and things like that. So that's why you want a specialist. But you can make sure that they are specialists by going to acpmp.org. They have a Find a Specialist section, and at the top you'll see questions to ask that are targeted to if you're planning on having CRS and HIPEC, which you may not know about yet. If you're planning on having surgery, the questions apply to that. But so there are questions up there to make sure that they're a specialist. But at the bottom, there's a map, and you can find a specialist by location. Excuse me. Even if you see their name on the map, you're not done. Hold on a second. Yeah, even better, go to the PMP Appendix Cancer Support Group on Facebook and ask for direct feedback on the specialists that you would like to see or have seen. And you'll get honest, genuine answers direct from the community. There's no better way to find a specialist and vet them than doing it this way and hearing about how the patients were treated, how they're doing, and if they're being followed and what their treatment plans are and things like that. So hearing direct from the community and other patients is a really important thing to do when researching the specialist. And that's something that we have that's really amazing in our community. So I would use it. And if you're for some reason not on Facebook or don't want to, you're welcome to reach out to me directly and I can look into that for you. Just reach out and let me know the surgeon's name or names. So anyway, that's the most important stuff. Okay. So your priorities right now are grieving, finding a specialist, finding support, because you're going to get amazing support from the community. So that's something I haven't talked about much on this video, but if you want to reach out to me, we're using the word mentor right now, but we don't know if it's the right term, but basically my purpose in life and what I truly enjoy doing and always have done is being there for others. So even though my story is different and I'm living with disease, I've been through a lot of this, and I hear from other patients that I've mentored or just have become friends with in the community. Anyway, I'm a mentor, I'm a volunteer, and I'm here to talk to Jamie at pmppals.net, but we have other people to talk to help guide you and just to provide support. That's what PMP Pals Network is. We're support. We offer worldwide support to other patients, and we're all volunteers. We're not going to push a doctor on you. If anybody mentions a doctor, it's because they have direct experience. Like I mentioned in a video or videos before, my specialist, I was very impressed and very happy. But anyway, if you need support, please reach out. If you're not on social media, there are different ways that we can find somebody, if it's not me, to support you. But you definitely want somebody in the community, friends, that you find in the group or whatever. But we can email, we can text. There are other mentors that prefer to talk on the phone. I'm also on Zoom calls a lot. We do twice weekly Zoom calls, and it's all about support and helping you navigate through all of this. So educating yourself is really important. You may find yourself, you just never know what's going to happen. It happened to me during COVID. I ended up completely alone in the wrong hospital on the wrong ward immediately after surgery. And I had to fend for myself. It was nobody's fault. It was a pandemic, but you just never know what's going to happen. So you have to educate yourself in case you need to advocate. Self-advocating is huge when you have a rare disease of any sort. So you need to learn, and it might be scary at first, but the more you learn and the more you immerse yourself in it, the less scary it becomes. And they have found that patients that know more have better outcomes. So it's really important to learn about it. Dr. Google isn't always your friend. Just know that the stats on Google are very outdated, like decades old. So that's why speaking directly with others, such as that big support group, has over 7,000 people in there. You're going to learn way more. Like the timeline I got was ridiculous, and I'm still here. So anyway, educating yourself about your pathology and the disease and treatments and things like that are really going to help you. Also, knowledge is power. That way you know when you're speaking to a specialist that is not a specialist. So education is huge. Line up your personal team. That's friends in the community that you come across, and your family and your friends that you already know. Line up your caregivers. You don't want to go through this alone, and if you're going to have surgery, I recommend not being alone at all in the hospital. I recommend having somebody with you to advocate if you can't advocate for yourself, and they need to be learning right along with you to know many different things. So line up your care team, close friends, family, your spouse, your children even. I know a lot of people don't want to traumatize their children or anything, but children want to help and they learn from it, and it makes them resilient. They want to be there for you. And if they don't, they'll let you know. But that's just my 2 cents. I don't have children, but my nephews are very supportive, and my niece, they've been very supportive and curious, and I've always answered their questions honestly, and they love that. So your next priority is get your treatment plan. When you choose your specialist, they'll line out your treatment plan, and then whoop its ass. Go kick cancer butt. Find a hobby to occupy you through things like knitting, crocheting, crafts, art, poetry, writing, journaling. They really help occupy your time and something fun to do and positive. Always have something to look forward to, whether it's next week, like a birthday party for somebody, or going to a lunch date or vacation in the near future. Just always have something to look forward to, because that helps you get through the really low spots when you're feeling really down and you might be questioning life in general. Focusing on that something good is really amazing and can help pull you out of that. And another thing I recommend is little treats. Treat yourself. So if you have a doctor's appointment, for example, and of course it's going to be stressful, might cause anxiety, go get yourself a coffee or something, a little treat afterwards, and reward yourself for getting through that. And maybe that means a nap or I don't know, whatever is a treat to you. But please do find support and find a specialist, and you'll already be way ahead compared to other people who don't do those things. So I hope this really helps you. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments or reach out to me, jamie@pmppals.net. I also enjoy doing videos about things that people say that often upset patients. So I've done a lot of those. They're not about me. I'm very hard to offend, but people sometimes don't want to speak up. And so I've done videos for them. So if you have something that you would like me to talk about, I'm happy to do it. So anyway, take care. Don't forget to breathe. Bye.